Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Houston Sports Talk, back another video day, and today we're going to be recapping Day 6 of Houston Texans training camp. Let's get into it. Today was a normal day, I guess you could say, for Texans training camp, as I'm not sure if everyone has seen what happened at training camp, but there was a little bit of a brawl or a scruffle between Derek Stingley Jr. and Dalton Schultz. I'm not too happy about it. I mean, these things happen in training camp. If these things don't happen for your team in training camp, you're not showing a lot of fight. What the two parties in Derek Stingley Jr. and Dalton Schultz both showed was defense for their teammates. Dalton Schultz showed defense for Stephon Diggs, and Derek Stingley Jr. did that right back for Jimmy Ward. Ultimately, this is something you don't want to see happen at training camp, but these things are probably bound to happen, and when they do, you just got to move on and just forget about it. And I'm gonna go over what happened. So it wasn't a fight, and it was a little bit of a backstory. So this starts off when C.J. Stroud finds Stephon Diggs over the middle, and he is hit hard, way too hard, by Jimmy Ward. And if you guys remember last year, there was a little bit of an issue. Jimmy Ward hit Dalton Schultz very hard last year. It kind of took him out a little bit. I think I'm pretty sure he did miss a day or two of training camp because of the hit he took from Jimmy Ward. And that, Ward hitting Diggs like that really upset Dalton Schultz. So Dalton Schultz had some words, which, look, that is perfectly fine with me, because here's the reason. I mean, Dalton Schultz is defending his teammate. Dalton Schultz is maybe still a little bit upset about the hit that Jimmy Ward had on him last year, and to see him do that on another teammate of his. And look, it's the best. It's one of the best wide receivers on this team. Look, I love Nico Collins. I love Tank Dell. And Nico had a great season. Tank had a great season. But I think you could probably say Stephon Diggs is the best wide receiver on this team. Maybe Tank Dell and Nico Collins might prove that wrong this year. But as of right now, Stephon Diggs is the best wide receiver on this team. He is the wide receiver one. And Jimmy Ward made a hit that was too hard on him. Dalton Schultz had words for it. I'm totally okay with that, because Jimmy Ward there have been some problems with Jimmy Ward with some of the hard hits that he has made in practice. He has a history of doing that. So I don't care about Dalton Schultz having some words about it. As for Derek Stingley Jr., I don't like the fact that he goes and pushes Dalton Schultz, because he could be ruining the Texans' future. Look, what if, because Dalton Schultz kind of falls down, what if Dalton Schultz falls on his knee or falls on his ankle and he gets hurt? And then the Texans, the team gets hurt by that. That is a move. I'm not very upset about what Derek Stingley Jr. did, because just like Dalton Schultz, he's protecting his teammate. He is hearing Dalton Schultz talk crap to Jimmy Ward, who is his teammate, and someone he plays on the field with, and he takes action on it. But maybe just a soft push and talk crap right back would have been fine, instead of a full-on tackle. Because if Dalton Schultz gets hurt and he has like a big injury, now the whole entire team and their future has been hurt by those actions. So that's the only reason I was a little bit upset about what Derek Stingley. I thought it was a little bit too hard of a push, just because of the fact that because you could end up injured. But I mean, it is what it is, and both guys need to move on, and that's what people do in these, in these sort of things. Sometimes they get over it. Sometimes they just don't talk to each other anymore. I would think there's probably more of issues between Dalton Schultz and Jimmy Ward than there are Dalton Schultz and Derek Stingley Jr. And what upsets me a little bit is that people have been saying that this was caused by Stephon Diggs. This is because Stephon Diggs is a cancer to the locker room. Stephon Diggs was the whole reason this happened. I guess I'd agree with you if it meant that this was caused by Stephon Diggs because he was tackled. That's the only reason Stephon Diggs has anything to do with this. Because the fact that Jimmy Ward hit the crap out of Stephon Diggs and Dalton Schultz decided to defend Stephon Diggs. The only thing that Stephon Diggs has to do with this is he got hit, and Dalton Schultz was a good teammate about it and talked crap to Jimmy Ward and had some words for him. And then Derek Stingley took action on it, and that's all. Nothing to do with Stephon Diggs. So I've really that has pissed me off that people have been saying that. Let's move on from the fight, because let's not forget there was practice today. This wasn't just fight session. This wasn't in the boxing ring was not the only thing that happened today. So before I go over the practice, want to go over something that was announced by CBS. CBS announced the crew for the Texans opener on Week 1 against against the Indianapolis Colts, and the two guys announced in the Texans Week 1 game. We got Tiki Barber and Andrew Catalon. I remember Matt Ryan was a part of the crew with Andrew Catalon and Tiki Barber last year. When I missed not hearing Matt Ryan with those two guys, I thought that was a nice announcing trio. It's kind of hard sometimes to find an announcing trio that can do a solid job. Usually more equipped with two. But I'm not going to complain. Not bad announcing for Week 1 against the Colts. All right, let's get to the actual practice, though. No John Mechie or Christian Harris. Nico Collins is back, but still no Joe Mixon. I wish I could tell you guys that Joe Mixon did not practice today because it was his birthday. I could tell you guys. Let's all wish Joe Mixon a happy birthday, though. Joe Mixon's birthday. He's not practicing due to that injury, and so I wish he wasn't practicing because it's his birthday, but he's injured. But hopefully John Mechie, Christian Harris, and Joe Mixon are able to get back on the field soon, but Nico Collins, after an off day, was back on the field. All right, let's go over some things that happened at practice that we learned on social media due to some of the Texans insiders. Let's get into it. Now, Aaron Wilson was then the one that announced Andrew Catalon and Tiki Barber being the two announcers for the Texans Week 1 game. I believe Aaron Wilson was the one to post first about the fight that happened between Derek Stingley Jr. and Dalton Schultz and Jimmy Ward. I can't remember who posted something about, I think it was like Cody Stutes or Landry Locker that posted something about, no John Mechie, Christian Harris, or Joe Mixon, but Nico Collins is in action. But let's get into what actually happened at the practice. This was posted by Landry Locker. That's kind of funny. Kate Stolver is starving for full contact like a Kardashian starves for attention. That means he is really, 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 really starving for contact. Kate Stoffers looked pretty solid in training camp. There was a couple days ago, Davis Mills threw a really nice pass to him. And he went in for a touchdown with a bunch of contact. So he's been very aggressive in training camp, and I think he's really fighting because, I know he is a 4th-round pick, but he's got a lot to fight for because there's obviously you have Dalton Schultz in the tight end room, you have Brevin Jordan, and want to remind everybody the Texans last year on their roster had 3 tight ends on the roster. So it's Brevin Jordan, Dalton Schultz, and then the 2 other guys that are the favorites to make this roster. You got Cade Stolver and you got Tegan Quintanaro, who was a Texans draft a couple years ago. He's a guy they like, a guy who's actually been making some noise at training camp. So he is fighting. Look, I don't see a way where Cade Stolver, a former C.J. Stroud teammate and a 4th-round, 5th-round pick who's been playing really good in training camp, get cut. But he is fighting with some other talented tight ends. So that is to note. But he's having a good camp so far. All right, this was posted by Landry Locker. Derek Stingley Jr. went stride for stride. This is not about the fight. With Tank Dell and intercepted a C.J. Stroud deep ball in the first play of Team 2. So, yeah, Derek Stingley Jr.'s looked nice at camp outside of pushing teammates. So, he's looked really good in training camp, and I think he's going to take a big year 3 jump with the Texans. I'm really excited to see what he'll do in year 3. All right. Now let's get into what else happened at camp besides an interception for Stingley and Kate Stauver looking good? This was by Cody Stutes. Desmond King scored a punt return touchdown today. I'm really excited for Desmond King. Just like Derek Stingley Jr., this is a very nice cornerback who has showed a lot of good things with the Texans, but he can't. It's not just playing corner. He's a great kick and punt returner. I think he showed that with the Texans and all of the teams he's played for. So nice punt return, and it was followed after this. Tank Dell even had a really nice punt return. It was a brief punt return, but a really nice punt return right after King's touchdown. And then this clip was posted by Texans Twitter or X, the official Texans. C.J. Stroud throws an out route to Nico Collins in this clip, and Nico gets away from Kamari Lassiter, Texans' second-round pick, and he goes all the way for a touchdown. So, it was a really nice play by Nico. It was a really good throw by, I'm not gonna say it was a really good, but it was a good throw by C.J. Stroud. Good catch by Nico Collins. He gets away from Kamari Lassiter, gets away from a couple other defenders as well, and went all the way on his own for a touchdown in the scrimmage. So let me know your thoughts on day 6 of Houston Texans training camp in the comment section. I think this is a day we could all say let's move on from, just because of how it started with the brawl, and then but besides that, it was a good day. Let me know your thoughts on Texans day 6 of training camp in the comment section, and peace out.